Welcome into Saints Game Day Live, presented by Sanderson Farms. I'm Erin Summers. Coming up in today's show, we're going to hear from former Saints wide receiver Marcus Colston in the breakdown. Tyron Matthew is today's player spotlight, and we'll check in with all of the black and gold that made the trip here to Philadelphia. It all starts at 12 o'clock Central, kickoff on Fox. Let's get it started with the countdown to kickoff presented by Bullseye. The Eagles are 13-2. They're the number one team in the NFL, averaging 30 points per game. Over the last 5 games, they've had over 400 yards of total offense. The Saints' best defense is to keep that offense off the field. Establishing the run game and winning that turnover battle is going to be big for the Saints today. In Cleveland, the Saints were able to get 150 yards on the ground. Over the last several games, if they hit 130 yards, they're 5-1. Alvin Kamara will be big for that. He's had over 100 yards of scrimmage in the past 2, and although he missed 2 days of practice this week, he's going to be a full go this weekend. An added bonus for the Saints offense is going to be wide receiver Chris Olave is available to play today. He did miss last week's game. He's got 3 touchdowns on the season and nearly 1,000 yards. It's going to be tough for the Saints offensive line, though, as they're without 2 of their starting guards, Cesar Ruiz and Andrus Peat. The backups, Calvin Throckmorton, Josh Andrews, are going to have to step up big against a stout Eagles defensive line. They have 61 sacks on the season. That's good for best in the NFL. Defensively, the Saints have been rolling. Over the past 4 games, they've only been allowing an average of 14.5 points per game. Today, the Eagles will be without MVP candidate and their starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts, for the 2nd game in a row. Things will be a little bit different with Gardner Minshew at the helm. He doesn't hurt you as much with his legs. The Eagles have one of the best running offenses in the league. Last week, however, they only had 87 yards against the Cowboys. This week, they'll be without tackle Lane Johnson. He's one of the best in the league. Head coach Nick Sirianni said he thinks he's the best overall tackle in all of the NFL, and he's not wrong. He's rated 3rd overall. Defensive end Cameron Jordan could have a day against their backup. He'll have an easy time applying pressure and getting to the quarterback, Gardner Minshew. A fun storyline coming into this one, linebacker Demario Davis and Eagles quarterback Gardner Minshew went to the same high school, Brandon High School in Brandon, Mississippi. It's a small town right outside of Jackson, 21,000 people, and while they weren't there at the same time, Davis graduating in 2006, Minshew starting in 2011, they're very familiar with each other. Minshew said that Davis would come back to school often. He looked up to him as a mentor, a role model, someone who came out of Brandon and made it to the NFL. Minshew and Davis have met one time previously in the NFL as pros when Minshew was a starting quarterback for the Jaguars. And Davis said going into that game that he really liked Minshew's game, and he even bought himself a Minshew t-shirt. Saints got the best of that game, so they're 1-0 against Gardner Minshew, hoping to keep that trend alive today. Let's check in with today's inactives presented by Louisiana Cat. Game safety Marcus May already has been said as out, but he'll be joined by Justin Evans, Chase Hansen, Andrus Peat, another one that we mentioned earlier. Tano Passigno is not going to play, Dwayne Washington out, and then Marquez Callaway, but not on that list is cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. He'll be active for the first time in 10 games since that Week 5 injury he suffered. So that's good news, especially with the Eagles going with quarterback Gardner Minshew, using their passing game a little bit more. It'll be good to see him back on the field. And then also Chris Olave, not on that list. So that does mean that the wide receiver is active today. For today's breakdown, I catch up with Saints legend Marcus Colston. It's going to be a fun game. He's going to be here in attendance. And he's, checking out to see if Alvin Kamara is going to break his touchdown record. Let's see what Colston has to say about today's matchup. Welcome into the breakdown presented by Microsoft Teams. I'm Erin Summers, joined by former Saints wide receiver Marcus Colston. The Saints have been rolling since the bye week. How have you liked what they've been able to do on the field over the past 2 games?
I mean, the thing that you look for as a fan and really as a player is you just got to figure out how to win that game that week. And I think they've done a really good job of figuring out what it takes for that given week to score one more point than the opponent. And they've done a really good job of really utilizing their personnel. The defense has really been playing well, really for most of the season. So, I think that bye week probably gave them an opportunity to self-scout a little bit, recalibrate. And I think you're starting to see, just the ability to put themselves in winning situations for these last handful of weeks. And that's what it's going to take to beat this Eagles team.
How fun has it been to watch some of the rookie receivers and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed get out on the field and have the success that they've had in their first year?
It's been phenomenal, especially with Chris from day one, just watching. It's been so impressive to me to see the feel that he has for the game so early. If you watch him and you didn't know who you were watching, you think you're watching a 10-year vet out there. And Shaheed, I mean, when you come in that way, you know you're on the clock from day one, right? So, like you said, the moment hasn't been too big for him, and just the plays that he's making, the timely plays that he's making, the big plays, like that's in any offense. It's hard to get the ball and drive 80 yards every time, right? So his ability to just take the top off of the defense and kind of be that lightning strike, it changes an offense. So. With those two guys rolling, it's going to be really fun to kind of see what the future holds.
What are the keys, you think, for the Saints to get the win Sunday?
I think more of what you've seen the last couple of weeks. I think just the ability to get off the field on third down on defense, the ability to convert third downs on offense, and a handful of big plays in the passing game. And I think. If you're able to control the ball, control the clock, against this team, they've got some guys missing in the secondary, I think. So if you're able to really control the ball, control third down, you're going to be in it at the end of the game, and that's all you want as a player and as a coach. You just want to be in it at the end of the game, give yourself a chance to win.
Marcus, thank you so much for joining us for the breakdown presented by Microsoft Teams. We'll see you in Philly.
Always. Thank you.
Today's Player Spotlight is with safety Tyron Matthew, presented by Sanderson Farms. Matthew has enjoyed his first season here with the Saints. He gives us a look back on the season and what to expect today. Welcome into our Player Spotlight presented by Sanderson Farms. I'm Erin Summers, joined by Saints safety Tyron Matthew. You've been here for almost a full season now. When you talk about the Saints and their culture, how would you describe it?
I think the first thing comes to mind is family, strong bonded, and obviously, I think an organization that's kind of built to kind of handle, adversity.
Speaking of adversity, it took a little while for the defense to get rolling, but over the past 4 games, you've held teams under 20 points. What's been the difference?
Well, I think, ultimately, preparation. I think, it came a point in the season where, we really felt like, we had what it took to kind of go out there and try our best to kind of, impact the game. So I think on all 3 levels, we're just playing more, together.
Takeaways have been a key factor over the past few games. You've had 2 interceptions on the season. When you're, lining up and you see a pass, what goes through your mind? When do you know that, you're gonna kind of get the ball?
Well, you hope and pray that, people throw the ball at you. I think anytime you have an opportunity to get your hands on the ball, especially as a defender, with the way the league is now, we don't get a lot of those opportunities. We try our best to just capitalize on them.
Some of the rookies have stepped up in key positions on the defensive side. Who's impressed you this season?
Oh man, I'd probably say Alontae Taylor. Given the situation and obviously I think coming into the season, he probably had no idea that he would play this much. But his name was called, and each and every week he finds a way to step up and make a big play for us.
When you look back on the season so far, what have been some of your favorite moments?
Oh man, I'd probably say obviously the first win, of the season, that was big. And then really the last couple of weeks as well. I think this is the first time we've been able to kind of stack victories together. So, I think that's a good feeling.
Where does Cleveland stack up in all that with the weather, now that you're kind of almost a week past that?
Well, I think, that'll be one of those games we always remember. We felt like defensively, we went out there, we played really well. I think the elements is something that, we'll tell our grandkids about.
Absolutely. It's looking like the weather's going to be a little bit better in Philly. 55, sunny. So it should be a little bit easier in terms of the elements. But looking at their offense, and they're scoring the most points out of any team in the NFL, how do you limit them?
Well, I think you just have to really, play sound football. I think, those guys do a good job of not turning the ball over. So I think for us, coming into the game, trying to get the ball back to our offense, I think that'll help us, be in a position to win the game. And, just got to challenge these guys. They got great players, all over the field. And so if each one of us could be accountable and just challenge the man across from us, I think we'll be all right.
All right, thanks, Tyron. We look forward to the game on Sunday. It's Tyron Matthew, Aaron Summers here for your Player Spotlight. Make sure to download the ASAP app to get all of your game day needs delivered right to your door. Use code SAINTS22 to score free delivery, tickets, autographed items, and more. ASAP is the official mobile ordering partner of the New Orleans Saints. We got some Saints fans right here in Philadelphia getting ready for the game today at Lincoln Financial. Here's your black and gold roll call presented by Bud Light.
This is Tyler, this is Zach, this is Shay, this is Alexa, this is TJ right here. We're from New Orleans. Go Saints, baby.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm from South Florida. Came to Philly to see the Saints play. We're going to kick the birds. Yeah, go Saints.
We are lifelong Saints fans. We made the drive up here. We drove 17 and a half hours from New Orleans, so just excited to see the Saints game.
All right, so I'm Zach from Canada. We drove all the way here 6 hours to see the Saints beat the Eagles today. Been a fan for 9 years, and I'll be a fan for life.
Go Saints.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It's a lot on the line today for both teams. The Eagles looking to solidify that home field advantage in the playoffs. They already have a playoff berth. A win today will give them the top seed in the NFC. The Saints, they have to win to stay in. It's going to be a fun game, a battle right here in Philadelphia. You can check it out 12 o'clock on Fox. We'll be back here with the Saints post-game report. We'll hear from head coach Dennis Allen and players on NewOrleansSaints.com. Happy New Year, everyone. Enjoy the game and go Saints.